Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 714 days, Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. The US Senate did not have enough votes for a procedural vote on a bill to strengthen migration policy, which included additional funds for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, reports Suspilne. The bill envisaged $118 billion new funding, which includes more than $60 billion in aid to Ukraine, more than $14 billion to Israel, and the rest for border security. After its introduction, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson announced that he would not put the bill to a vote. After that, it became clear that it would not gain enough support among Republican senators. The Republican Party complains about insufficiently tough measures to combat illegal migration from Mexico, as well as the need to study the provisions of the document, which was prepared in the utmost secrecy for several months. Earlier, President Joe Biden, who supported the compromise bipartisan bill, said that Donald Trump was trying to derail its adoption. Ambassador of Ukraine to the US, Oksana Markarova, said that the US Senate will later consider another legislative proposal that contains only additional funding for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, but without the controversial migration measures, reports Interfax Ukraine. Members of both parties who championed the package warned that the fate of Eastern Europe would hang in the balance, along with America's reputation on the world stage, if Congress failed to move forward. The US president sharply criticized Republicans in Congress for blocking a bipartisan agreement on the border and the package of foreign aid, including to Ukraine, reports Ukrainska Pravda. Biden said he never thought he'd see anything like what we are seeing now on Capitol Hill, and accused his opponent, former President Donald Trump, of calling and threatening lawmakers with retaliation if they support a package that also includes more US funding for Ukraine and Israel. Meanwhile, White House National Security Council Coordinator John Kirby said that they know how the Ukrainian military is carefully distributing its ammunition, which is running out. And the Russians are trying to use the moment to attack Ukrainian positions and peaceful cities more, reports Ukrinform. According to him, the lack of assistance from the US complicates the situation not only at the front but also in the depths of the country. In this context, he noted that the Russians are trying to target as many objects of the Ukrainian defense and industrial base as possible, as well as civilian objects. Yesterday morning, Russian forces conducted a large-scale missile attack against Ukrainian cities, reports Ukrainska Pravda. In particular, Russia used 44 missiles of various types and 20 kamikaze drones on the morning of 7th of February. Ukrainian air defense destroyed 29 missiles and 15 Shahed drones. About 20 missiles targeted Kyiv and were downed by the air defense, but their remnants caused destruction. The debris damaged two high-voltage lines and the heat supply line in one of the districts. In another one, caused a fire in a high-rise building and at a service station. At least 4 people were killed and 38 wounded in Kyiv, another 3 were wounded in the Kyiv region. 1 person was killed, another hospitalized in Mykolaiv, Ukraine's south. Explosions were heard in the Kharkiv-Cherkasy regions. In the Lviv and Dnipro regions, enemy damaged some infrastructure objects. Based on the official information of the missiles and drones used by Russia, Ekonomichna Pravda media counted that yesterday's attack cost Moscow about $423 million. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy Josep Borrell visited Kyiv, reports European Pravda. He said that expects the EU to provide Ukraine with 1,155,000 ammunition rounds by the end of 2024. Borrell stressed that the EU's defense industry is enhancing its capabilities. He met President Volodymyr Zelensky, who asked for more ammunition, drones, and air defense systems. The EU's top diplomat also visited one of the drone production facilities in Ukraine and expressed his admiration. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just 2 people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.